Right, exercise 304, house plans. Now just read through all this. Now, there are two different things that you'll see. You'll see a plan, which is a drawing of a floor, like this. But then you'll also see what we call elevations, the views of the front, side and back of the house. Now, this is a view of the side of the house. Can you see that? And it's got S for side. And this is a view of the front of the house, and it's got F for front. So sometimes you'll see P, that's the plan. That's just looking straight down at the house. This is just looking at the front elevation, and this is the side elevation. You would remember from year 7 and that you had to draw front view, side view, top views of solids. This is a similar sort of thing. If I look here, see, this is a plan, because I'm looking straight down at it. But this is an elevation. This one here would be the south, looking from the south of the house, what the side of the house looks. It's a side elevation. Okay? All right. Okay, let's go back here. So just, these are some of the symbols that you'll have to recognize. You've got doors, a toilet or a water closet. I think they call that overseas. A shower looks like that. There's a stove. A pantry, PTRY. A washing machine, WM. A wardrobe is called a robe. FL is floor level. CL means ceiling level. ENS is an ensuite. That's a bath. It looks like one. This is a vanity. Don't mistake that for a bath. This is the kitchen sink. The laundry tub, a square with a circle in it. That's what a linen cupboard looks like. A walk-in wardrobe, they write WIR, ground level, GL, and windows look like that. We'll see those in the second example that we do. So, often but in plans, measurements are always shown in millimetres, not centimetres, okay? So the reason they do that is that they don't need to use decimal points. So you'll often see things measured in thousands or hundreds, rarely in tens. So it might say 2,200. 3,750, 600 and stuff like that. So they're always in millimetres, except for this one here. We'll go to the millimetre one next, okay? Now this is a scaled plan. See, that's the plan that's looking down, but this F means that's the front of this fishing shack, and this S means it's the side of the fishing shack. Now, be careful here, because when we look at the side, it's sloping downwards, this shack. Now, the scale plan for a fishing shack is shown on the right. The floor plan is labelled P. The front elevation is labelled F, and the side elevation is S for side. What is the height of the back wall? Now, we don't find that here. This is looking straight down. This is the front. Now, the front is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 squares. Which one do you think is the front, the back wall? What I'm looking at now or here?
The one on the left.
This is the front wall. See how the front is this high? This is the front wall. This is the back wall. Okay? So this is the back wall. Now they're telling us that 1 centimetre, so I'm going to zoom in here a bit. 1 centimetre is 2.5 metres. Or, so what have we got here? We've got, so this is 0.8 centimetres, okay? So we've got 0.8 centimetres. So that's the scale. So the back wall, scale distance, or on the plan, do you know what I mean? On the plan, it's 0.8 centimetres. Let's say if it was 2 centimetres, let's say if it was, what would the real distance be? What do you do when you measure? You times it by? Whatever I get, don't I just times it by 2.5? Yeah. So don't worry that it's a decimal, that it's 0.8. It's still done the same way, all right? If you measured 2 centimetres, you would have told me 2 times 2.5 is 5. So we just do the same even though it's a decimal. So back wall on the plan is 0.8 centimetres. So the back wall height, back wall actual height, we just times it by 2.5. But our answer will be in metres. And what do we get? 0.8 times 2.5. Isn't that 2 metres? Yeah. You could see the width 2 places. You could either see it here on the plan, or you could see it here. You can't see it there. This will give me the length. Just think, that's a side view. That's the front here, and that's the back. That's the side. That'll tell me how long this shack is if I look at the side. You know, if you walk around to the side of someone's house, you can see how long the house is, the length. The width of the house, you look at the front of the house to see the width. So the width on the plan, I can either look at this or the other one. Look, I'm getting 2.4. 2.4 centimetres, either here or there. Actually, I can see the length here. Sorry, that's a better way to do the length. Yeah, up there. Or it should be the same as that, and it is. Okay, so the width, just think when you look at the front of a house, you can see how wide it is. It looks like 2.4 centimetres on the plan. So the width of the shack, the actual width is what? What do I do with this number? Times it by what? If it's 2.4 centimetres on the page, what is it in real? What do I do with it? Times 2.5, and my answer will be in metres. And what do we get? Exactly? 6 metres. Wait. Now the floor area, what do you think I need to do to get the floor area? I've measured this. That's 2.4, but so was that. What do you think I need to measure now? Yep. Let's just do the length. Looks like I'm getting 2.4 again. So the length on the plan is also 2.4 centimetres. So the actual length will be the same, 2.4 times 2.5, which is 6 metres. So therefore the area, the floor area, is going to be what times what. So please put them into proper distances first before you work out the area. I don't want you working out the area of this little thing here, all right? So the actual floor area is 6 metres. We need actual distances, please, before you work it out. 6 metres by 6 metres, which is 36 metres squared, okay? So part D says, how many whole litres of paint are required to paint the outside walls of the shack, including the door, but not the window, if 1 litre of paint covers 10 metres squared. Basically, let's just do the two sides first. So it's a shack. So there's only going to be a door and a window at the front. The back of the shack will have no door, no window, and we've got the two sides. Let's look at the two sides first. We want the area of those. Now this is a trapezium, and this is H. You know how it's the formula for the area of a trapezium, so we've got two of those. It's a half H, or H on 2, A plus B. Remember that? So the two sides are that, 2 times H on 2, A plus B. The height of the back wall, it's 2 metres from part A. We'll need the height of the front wall. Now the height of the front wall, I think that's 1 centimetre high, and it is. So 1 centimetre is 2.5 metres. The height of the front wall is 2.5 metres. And we also know we already know the width of the shack, and we already know the length of the shack from part C. So the length of the shack is 6 metres. We already did that in part C. So here's our trapezium. The parallel sides are 2 and 2.5, and the height of the trapezium is 6. So your 2 and your 2.5 are your A and B. They're the parallel sides of your trapezium. This is a right trapezium. Trapezium has one pair of opposite sides parallel. And that's your perpendicular height of your trapezium. So the two sides are 2 times, the height is 6 over 2. A plus B is 2.5 plus 2. Here, so the area of the two sides is 27 metres squared. The back of the shack, you know how the shack slopes down? If I draw the back wall, I'm just going to draw the back wall of the shack. It's actually 2 metres high. Do you know how many metres across it is? Do you know? It's 6. The width of the shack is 6 meters. The length of the shack 6 meters. So it's definitely 6 meters like that. That's the back of the shack. Because it asked in part A, what's the height of the back wall? It was 2 meters. I might just draw this shack for you sideways. Like, this is what it looks like from the side. Looks like that from the side. Okay, the height of this wall's 2, this is 6, that's 6. The height of the front is 2.5. That's what that shack looks like from the side. The elevation of the shack, then we know this is the front, which is 2.5 meters high, so that's the front, that's the back, that's the side. I've drawn that side piece there. We know this is the floor, which was 6 meters by 6 meters. See, the floor is 6 by 6. Okay, so that's what the shack looks like. You can't see the front of the shack at the moment because it's back here. That's the front. That's the back of the shack. And these are the 2 side walls. Okay, so the area of the back wall is 2 by 6. Okay, so the back wall is 2 meters by 6 meters. Back is 2 by 6, which is 12 meters squared. Now the front wall, we're painting everything except for the window. If we look at the front, it's this, which is 2.5 by 6, but we've got to subtract out the window because they're painting the door, but not the window. So the front will be 2.5 meters times 6 minus whatever the window is. Now we've got to work that out. I have to measure the window. Measurements of the window. I mean, I can measure it on my plan, but there is an easier way. If I know that this is 6 meters, because we've already worked that out before, and it happens to be 12 little squares. You can see the little squares. I'll zoom in. So from there to there, it's 6 meters, and we've got 12 little squares. That means every 2 little squares is 1 meter. So if I've got 3 squares here, it's 1.5 meters. Every 2 squares is a meter, so I've got 1.5 meters, and the height of the window is 1 meter. It's easier to do it like that instead of measuring again. So it's minus 1.5 times 1. So the front face, the area, so these are all areas. So the area of the front is 2.5 times 6 minus 1.5 times 1. So it's just 2.5 times 6 minus 1.5, 0.5 meters squared for that front wall. So I'm going to come back up here. So therefore, the total area to be painted is 27 plus 12 plus 13.5. 1 litre, so that's the total area to be painted. It says 1 litre of paint covers 10 metres squared. So I've got 52.5 metres squared. They want to know how many whole litres of paint are required. What do? Yeah, it'll be 6. You go 52.5 divided by 10 is 5.25 litres, but they want how many whole litres of paint. Therefore, we need 6 litres because 5 won't be enough. Okay? Every 1 litre covers 10 metres squared. So we're going to need 6 litres of paint. Exercise 304, we've got a split level home. The reason it's split level, you can see the stairs here. These are stairs, okay? And you can start answering some of these questions. I want you to have a go at this on your own. You've got to see how many steps there are, draw the symbols for all these things, and then there's some measurement involved here. So have a go with questions A and B. Steps there. The hot water service. It's going to be located near the bathroom, okay? And it just looks like this, a circle with HWS. With a circle. It says HWS with a circle and that. The hot plates, they would be in the kitchen. Looks like this square thing with 4 circles. So that's the symbol for your hot plates. The wall oven, that would be in the kitchen. It looks like it's just this square with WO. The front door, well, we know that this is the symbol for a door. So doors look like this. Okay, that's the symbol for a door because it shows that's the swing of the door. It shows how the door, see, they've actually drawn the door open. There's the actual door and it swings open. So that's the front door. And the sliding door onto the deck. There's your deck. This is the kitchen, but this must be the sliding door here. This thing with the stripy sideway things. So the sliding door looks like this. Okay. Symbols on this. In the bathroom, you've got a window. This is a window. That's the shower. We've got the vanity and the toilet. Someone was just asking, there is no hinge door here. This must be a sliding door here in the bathroom. Okay. Here is another sliding door from the rumpus outside. Okay. We already looked at the kitchen a bit. We've got a window there. We've got the kitchen sink. This looks like a door. This must be the pantry door. See how that's a hinged door? That would be a pantry door. Can't read what that says. Ref. Oh, refuse. Ref would be refrigerator. We already said that that was the wall oven. We've got a cupboard here with a door. Okay. All right, we've got more windows here. Looks like this must be another. It's the linen cupboard. All right. Okay, we've got all our hinged doors there. Okay. All right, and there's north facing this way. Okay, now question C, the porch is to be tiled with terracotta tiles. How many square meters of tiles are needed? Well, luckily here they've got the measurements on there. We don't have to measure. So, what are you going to do? How are you going to work out the square meters of tiles that are needed? How would you do it? Anyone? What's the area of the porch? Yeah, 8. What units do you think those are in? Yeah. So your area of your porch is 8.4 times 1.8. They're both in meters. So you can work out your area in meters squared. So the area of the porch is 15.12 meters squared. You've got to be very careful here. It says if each tile measures 30 centimeters by 30 centimeters, can you just see, does 30 centimeters is 0.3 of a meter. We need to be very careful here. These are in centimeters and the area of my porch is in meters. I'd be changing which one do you want to change? You've already worked out the area of the porch in meters squared. I'd be changing my, no, I think you should change your tiles to meters. Because otherwise you're going to have to redo the whole area again in centimetres squared. Or you can change this to centimetres squared if you want. How do you go from metres squared to centimetres squared? Yeah, metres to centimetres is times by 100. But metres squared to centimetres squared, you've got to do it twice. It's times 100 twice. So we've got two choices here. We can either change this to centimetres squared, or we can just change our tiles to metres. So I think rather than doing all the conversions here and there, let's just change our tiles to meters. So the tiles are 0.3 meters by 0.3 meters. Now, just think if you're laying these tiles, girls, does 0.3 go into, you know how the porch looks like this? It's 8.4 by 1.8, and it's saying how many whole tiles do you need? Have you already thought about how you're going to lay these tiles? If we've got 0.3 by 0.3, what's something that you might like to do to see if you're going to get full length tiles in here, or if we have to cut some of them? What should you do? That's right. You could do 1.8 divided by 0.3. What do you get? What's 1.8 divided by 0.3? It'll fit because 3 times what is 18? 6. Yeah. So 1.8 divided by 0.3 means you'll fit 6 tiles across here. Okay, so that fits. Do you want to do the same with 8.4? Divide that by 0.3. 8.4 divided by 0.3. And you'll fit 28 tiles across. Okay, so 28 tiles across there, 6 tiles here. But you don't have to do it that way. The reason I looked at it like that is to make sure that I don't have to cut some tiles at the end. We know each tile is 30 centimetres. They haven't allowed for grout. They're supposed to allow for grout, but I don't think they want you to do that in this sort of question. So each tile is, so we can do this two ways. We can do this question two ways. We know we can fit 28 tiles across there because I went 8.4 divided by 0.3 is 28 tiles. And then I went 1.8 divided by 0.3 is 6 tiles. So two ways I could do this. I could then just say 28 times 6 and get the number of tiles I need. That's one way of doing it. The reason I looked at doing it that way is because they asked how many whole tiles are needed. So 28 times 6. We could do it like this, 28 times 6, 168 tiles. How else could you have done it instead of counting tiles? We know the whole area is 15.12 metres cubed. We know the area of one tile is 0.3 metres times 0.3 metres, which is what? 0.3 times 0.3. 0.09 metres squared. What would I do now? If one tile is 0.09 metres squared and I need to tile 15.12 metres squared, what would you do? How many tiles fit into that area? We divide. So the number of tiles is 15.12 divided by 0.09, and we're hoping we get 168. What do we get? 168 tiles. Now, we could do it like that, but it did say how many whole tiles are needed, which is why I checked how many tiles fit across and how many tiles fit that way. Okay? The other way you will know that it works without doing it this first way I did it is if you get a whole number answer here, it's okay. It should fit provided we're not cutting a tile here and another one over there. Okay? It says that the dining and living areas are to be carpeted. How much will it cost to carpet the rooms if carpet costs $68 a metre squared laid? That's cheap carpet. Okay, dining and living rooms. Luckily, they give you the dimensions. So what do? Yes, we work out the area of each one, add them together. All right, off you go. And what are you going to do with that answer when you get your answer? And as someone said, when you get your answer, you're going to multiply by 68. And the area of the dining room was 4.2 times 3.3, plus the area of the living room was 6.5 times 4.0, giving us a total area of 39.86 metres squared, and the cost was $68 per 1 metre squared. So just multiplying that by 68, we get $2,710.48 to carpet both the dining and living areas. Question 5, we've got a floor plan. So that's the plan when you look straight down, bird's eye view of the house with the roof off. And the south elevation means that from the south you're looking at the side of the house, how the house is elevated. All right, the side view, like you're walking up the driveway of the house. You're looking at the side of the house, that's south elevation. And it was built on a sloping block of land. We can see that here because this is the ground down here and it slopes, okay? All right, let's look at these questions. You should be able to do part A. What's the scale shown on the plan? The scale shown on the plan. 1 to 100. Meaning, what does that mean? That the drawing's 100 times smaller or the building is 100 times bigger than the drawing. What is the actual length of the house denoted by X? We're going to measure this. What are we getting? 13.5?
Yeah.
So it's 13.5 centimetres on the plan, but what is that in real life?
135 meters.
All right, so I might just do the working out down here. So part B, 13.5 centimetres on the plan. Isn't the real thing 100 times bigger? So it's 13.5 times 100 centimetres real length, which is 1350 centimetres, which is, guys, we're going to give it in metres.
That's not no.
13.5 metres. Not a very big house. 13.5 metres. So the actual length, so that's your actual length, it's 13.5 metres. Because the real thing is 100 times bigger because of the scale. So it's 1350 centimetres, and converting that to metres, we get 13.5 metres.
Wait, is that how long it is?
Yes, that's the length of the house. You tell the length of the house, well, you could see it there. Oh, no. Oh, yeah, denoted by X. Yes, it is. All right, how many windows? Have fun counting them.
No, I'm alright.
Okay, how many windows? We're going to start here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You've got to have a window in the bathroom. That's compulsory. 10, 11, 12. Is that what we got? I can't see any more. 12 windows. How many external doors are there? External doors, doors going to the outside.
1.
Well, we've got 1 there and 1 going there. Looks like 2 external doors. What is the area of the porch? Now, oh, they always want the area of the porch. We're going to have to measure it. So, and then convert. So we've got about getting about 6 point, well, I'm getting halfway between 6.3 and 6.4, but it doesn't matter. Let's just go 6.4. Is that what you're getting?
Why not round it up to 6.1?
All right. And the other one's about 1 point,
Quietly shut up.
I'm getting 1.25. Yeah. The plan is, look, it's between 6.3 and 6.4. You could do 6.35 if you want, or you can do 6.3, or you can do 6.4. They allow for error, all right? So 6 point, what do you want, girls?
4.
Sorry. 6.4 times 1.25 centimetres. I need actual distances. Now, because we know the scale is 1 to 100, and there's 100 centimetres in a metre, I can just change the units to metres. Do you get that? Or that's 640 centimetres, which is 6.4 metres. This is 125 centimetres in real life, which is 1.25 metres. That's the actual distances. All right, you've also got to remember common sense as well. So in real life, 100 times bigger, which would be 640 centimetres, which happens to be 6.4 metres. This one, 125 centimetres, which happens to be 1.25 metres. All right? Or there's 100 centimetres in a metre, just keep the numbers the same and make them both metres, because it's a 100-fold difference between centimetres and metres. So have we got the area of the porch? Multiply that by that. Yep. 8 metres squared. Yeah, because 4 times 1.25, 4 times 0.25 would give you a whole number. So the area of the porch is 8 metres squared. What is the ceiling height? Okay, this one we don't have to measure. It's actually shown on your plan. You want to have a look? Where do you think it is? What does FL mean? And CL is ceiling level, floor level. What's the ceiling height? 2,400 what? Remember, on a plan, all units are given in millimetres. They will write, they just do that so that they don't have to use decimal places. So that 2,400 is 2.4 metres. So it's 2,400 millimetres, because at the very beginning, it says measurements on plans are always shown in millimetres. Okay, now I know unless unless, all right, I know this one says meters, but this, if you see numbers like this, like that, 2,400, it'll be in millimeters, okay? So it's 2,400 millimeters, which is, changing that to meters, you divide by 1,000, it's 2.4 meters. And part G, the entry and hallway are to have slate tiles. They cost $105 a square metre laid. How much will it cost to have the entry and the hallway tiled? This is the entry, this is the hallway. Let's measure. So the hallway is 5.2 by point 0.85, not very wide. 5.2 by 0.85 or 0.9. So 5.2 times, let's go 0.8. These are in centimetres. So we've measured 5.2 times 0.8. These are in centimetres. And the entry is 1.2. Yep, 1.2 there by
2.5.
No, I think it's about, whoops, reckon it's 2.5? It's 2.5. Now, but these are in centimetres, plus 1.2 times 2.5. But remember, our centimetres convert straight to metres because the real thing is 100 times bigger. So this is on the map, that's on the plan, but in real life, it's 5.2 metres times 0.8 metres plus 1.2 metres times 2.5 metres, because the real thing is 100 times bigger, okay? So the real thing's 100 times bigger, so this is actual size. Because if you convert to multiply by 100, you get 520 centimetres, which is 5.2 metres. Basically, the numbers stay the same, you're just changing the units because it's 100 times bigger. Have we got an area there now?
The entry is 3.
So this one's 3. No, this one's 3. And this one's,
4.16.
so 3 and 4.16, 7.16. So we've got 7.16 metres squared for that total area, and it's $105 per square metre. So the cost, what are we going to do with this now? 7.16 times 105.
Equals 700 and something.
That's right, it does.
750 and
$751.80. So to the nearest $100, $800.